Greetings everyone, it is a lovely, good bit of cloudy, so it's not too hot day here in the southeast. Sorry, the last two videos just all came out today. Just busy in the afternoon when I do my very quick edit and upload Monday, Tuesday. I was gonna get stuff done that afternoon, but you know, whatever. Life is what it is, but hopefully this one comes out today when I record it. Big craziness happening. National Guard has arrived in Chicago, but the state of Illinois is not housing them and not really giving them any support. Which is honestly a good thing because the governor did not ask for their support, or did not ask for the National Guard to come there in the first place, and the only violence that is happening is being done by the federal government against the people of Chicago and against the people of the suburbs of Chicago. So if there's anyone to call the National Guard against, it's the Department of Homeland Security to protect normal citizens of Illinois and peoples of Illinois from the state-sponsored terrorism that is ICE. So keep that in mind. Let's see where the news is at today.
Perfectly still. California is also where he started writing and copywriting clever statements that were often paired with cartoons to license to other entities like the Hallmark Company, or to collect in his own books and merch.
In fact, I began with postcards, and you'll now find me on t-shirts, on tote bags, even illicitly on restroom walls.
And he also had rules for his epigrams.
It's actually a very restricted, crafted, disciplined form, which I myself have invented. A little box which I confine myself in, I guess in order to give myself something difficult to do for the rest of my life.
They were limited to 17 words. They had to be easily translated to another language, and that ruled out rhyming or rhythm or cultural references.
Now, if you think about that for a minute, that cuts out a whole lot of things. And I have to write in a very, very basic kind of English.
And yet, Ashley Brilliant wrote 10,000 potshots. In 2005, when he reached this self-imposed limit, Brilliant published one last line: "You are now leaving the universe. Come again."
He addressed the question of where all these ideas came from
very,
at book signing in 2019.
morbid in a way.
Everybody does get ideas. The thing is, most of us don't write them down or do anything with them.
Ashley Brilliant died September 24th at the age of 91. If you had to pick one of his epigrams for his headstone, it might be, "I'm not getting paid much for staying alive, but it's good experience."
Good contender. I would choose this one, maybe. "My life is a performance for which I was never given any chance to rehearse."
Or perhaps maybe just this one. It's pretty simple. Thanks for being.
I bring you greetings from me at this moment. Oh, I've written you a new song. Folks are free in Haight-Ashbury. They can live.
It's all things considered.
And this is All Things Considered on GPB. It's 4:18. I'm Peter B.
Artists are strange in such great ways.
On this Wednesday afternoon. Still to come on the program, Canadian tourists are often drawn to French culture in New Orleans. But many are now staying away because of President Trump's new tariffs and his suggestion that Canada become a U.S. state.
And also being harassed as they come across the U.S. border.
He apologized.
We're going to have more on that story
That's also a thing.
in about 15 minutes.
Support for GPB comes from you, our listeners.
I mean, there's a lot of people who aren't coming over to the U.S. For tourism from Canada and Europe, specifically because they don't want to be harassed. They don't want to be detained by Customs and Border Patrol once they enter the nation. Sorry, this person's doing very slow. They don't want to be harassed and detained by Customs and Border Patrol for just trying to go to New York City and see what it's like, or I don't know, visit family in wherever. This country is so huge. So yeah, and then the economic animosity that they have towards the current administration is 100% founded in reality.
GPB keeps Georgia informed, entertained, connected, and safe. Because you value GPB's impact on your community, you can do the same and make an impact with your gift of support right now during our fall fund drive. Just call 800-227-4788 or make a gift at gpb.org. Speaker for a chance to win a Visa gift card with 5.
I think right here is about the farthest I am from the radio station, so it's like the crunchiest of crunchies. Oh no. It'll come back in once I make a turn up here.
Wealth management, advice, investing, and trading on Thinkorswim. Learn more at schwab.com. From BritBox, committed to helping viewers to see it differently with British TV, with new original series like Code of Silence about a deaf woman recruited as a lip reader in a high stakes.
So many heats. That's okay. Now that they have $1 billion less to spread over 2 years, it's pretty understandable that they're trying to get money.
A Hindu nationalist group celebrated its centenary and its remarkable trajectory. It was once banned for its association with the killing of India's independence leader Mahatma Gandhi. Now its ideology dominates India, all the way up to and incling the Prime Minister. And here's the Hadid reports.
Yeah. Is this the far-right Hindu National
More than 1,000 men in
party?
khaki pants, white shirts, black hats, marched in step, bamboo canes at the ready. It was all part of the centenary celebrations that were held last Thursday in the central city of Nagpur, birthplace of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, or RSS. The RSS forms around the idea of martial discipline and the primacy of Hindus in India.
Yep. The primacy of any group over another is something I am not a fan of.
As departing British rulers divided South Asia into two countries in 1947.
It feels
Millions
inherently
of people fled across new borders,
on its
Muslims
way
to
to
Pakistan,
authoritarianism.
Hindus and Sikhs to India. Some Hindu nationalists were furious with Mahatma Gandhi because he protected Muslims who stayed in India, even as many Hindus were attacked and chased out of what became Pakistan. And an enraged Hindu nationalist, Nathuram Godse, shot and killed Gandhi. This is from the archives of British movie times.
The whole world was shocked by the news.
Murdered for being an
RSS
egalitarian.
was stigmatized for decades over Gandhi's murder because Godse was once a follower of the group. Godse's family insists he never left. The group's fortunes began to turn in the 90s after it led a movement demanding the removal of a medieval mosque, claiming it was built on the birthplace of the beloved Hindu deity, Lord Ram. Kalpana Pandey of the RSS Women's Wing remembers performing street plays to raise attention to the cause. She says she never imagined that a temple to Lord Ram would be built in her lifetime.
We never thought that Ram Mandir banega aisa laga nahi zindagi mein.
But that's what happened. Mobs, including RSS followers, tore the mosque down. The episode tapped into
a deep-seated resentment towards Muslims.
Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay has long written about the RSS. He says the RSS allowed ordinary Hindus to feel that
Having such a feeling is not politically incorrect.
He says that boosted the fortunes of the political party linked closely to the RSS. That Hindu nationalist party is called the BJP, and it's led by Narendra Modi, who once dedicated years of his life to the RSS. He's led India for over a decade, winning 3 back-to-back elections. And last year, he inaugurated a Hindu temple where that medieval mosque once stood.
The era of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the most successful era that they have lived through.
Sabha Naqvi writes on the RSS, and she says the group has consolidated power of the bureaucracy, the media, academia, and it's heavily influenced Bollywood, which now releases movies like The Kerala Story that depict Muslim men as extremists who seek to impregnate Hindu women. On the ground, the rise of the RSS and its associated political party, the BJP, has been linked to a fight against Muslims. Critics say that incitement has fomented violence by Hindu extremists, including the murder of Muslim men with the claims like transporting cows.
How much structural hate there is for Muslims all across the world.
Last week, Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief for Sarsam Chala,
it's really gross because, like, growing up, I had a lot of Muslim friends because of the area I was in, and like I wasn't raised very religious, right? So, like, the Muslim kids were a lot more tolerant of my belief and really lack of beliefs than any of like the Christian kids who went to church every weekend. And it just, I don't know, it really colored my views on things, on religion. And maybe that's because they were American Muslims, and you know they went to mosque every week. They could see what it's like to be a religious outsider, and they were more accepting of me than what is American hegemony or religious hegemony, especially in the South. I'll just close that off since I'm more talking about myself than the RSS and the BJP. But yeah, no, I don't know. Anytime I see Islamic hatred, anti-Muslim prejudice, anything like that, whether it's here in America, it's coming from people I know, that are very close to me. It's coming from other countries, especially in Europe, and it's coming from, even East Asian and South Asian countries. It just really makes me sad because, like, to hate somebody because of their religious upbringing is just, it's so gross, it's so hateful, and it's so ignorant, right? Like, we all have different beliefs. There's no monolith of any religion, right? No one has the exact same views on God or gods or spirits. It's all different interpretations of what we have, from how we're raised, what we read, what we experience spiritually, and how we interpret the very fabric of existence around us through our consciousness. So, yeah, that's gross. It's very gross. But yeah, India has become very, very right-wing, at least politically, and politics reflects the greater population. It is the coordination of power. But India has become very right-wing, and I never realized, until listening to this, that the man who shot Mahatma Gandhi was a part of this RSS group, which sounds like it was a big part of what has gotten the BJP in power. And the really gross thing about it is like, to bring it from an American perspective, imagine if, after MLK Jr. was shot and murdered on his second trip to Washington, D.C. To fight for civil and economic rights of people, the Ku Klux Klan became a major party in politics again. Like, that would be I feel like effectively the equivalent, and you can make arguments about how structural racism has continued to infiltrate American politics, and how it just feels like Jim Crow by another name. Read The New Jim Crow, it's a great book, and it really colored my perspective on the American justice system. But I don't know, that's how I see it, really. And it's sad because people get killed for their beliefs, and when people get killed for their beliefs of equality, it's even more disgusting. And it's abhorrent. It's absolutely abhorrent to be murdered for wanting everyone to be treated with dignity, like a human being, and not as an other or an animal or a brute. It's disappointing. Expect better. Expect a lot better out of people, because I know everyone can do that. Everyone can treat everyone good. But getting on the highway, sorry if it's loud. But we'll leave it there for the day. Sorry to end on kind of a sadder note. But y'all have a good one.